Hello everyone, welcome to .NET Training Academy. This is the second part of Linq Essential Training video tutorial. In this video, we are basically going to learn about joins. Joins is a very simple concept that we already know in SQL, basic SQL, or else even in mathematics in our higher studies. Like intersection, union, those kind of things are named as joins in computer programming or in the SQL database stuffs. Let's say there are two entities like table A and table B, and with a particular column like order or order ID, for example, let's say when those particular column intersects to both the tables, which is known as joins. So taking those particular data or the primary goal. Let's say there is an employee table which consists of first name, last name, salary, and department ID, and in the other table is department, whereas department ID and department name. So for example, if we want to join these two tables, we need to find out the intersection column. We have something like a department ID which is presented in both employee as well as the department. So basically in this scenario, a department ID of 1 which represent the department name of software engineer, and 3 as the testing data analyst. So we have two particular rows which has the department ID, and the other two rows didn't have department ID because those people didn't comes with work under the condition of department or those kind of things, because they may be in some other technical jobs which doesn't have department stuffs. So the syntax for creating the join is we need to get the particular data table like the departments, whereas the context of department, and use the method called join. And what is the table that we're going to join in this case, which is the employees table? So we are going to use the model database set as employees. And what are the two primary factors which combines these particular table, which in case here, which is the department ID. So we are selecting, we are creating an anonymous lambda expression, which is also called as anonymous variables. So using that lambda expression, we create a department and employee, and inside of that department.department ID as well as the employee.department ID. So next we are selecting the data that we want to fetch. So basically we are just selecting the employee's first name, last name, and the department name. So the output will be represented as like this, whereas join data of first name, last name with the particular two columns, because only two columns has the department IDs. So in the previous video, we learned about these things like where operator, method expression, query expressions, group, order by, those kind of things. But now we are going to learn about join. So here we are basically going to join two tables. One is employee and another one is department. And if you go to the database section over here and right click and go to the DBOs, and if you see, there is two things called as department and the department ID. And if you show tables, if you click on show tables, and it will display the result. Whereas 10 departments over here, like it will select top 50 from this thing. And when we check the stuff out in employees, it is also returning the particular things, like about 50 employees, but it's actually more than 50, the result is. And so in this we have something like employee first name, last name, employee ID, country, department ID, salary, age, email, gender, a lot of details. But now we are going to take care of about this department ID in this particular employee table as well as the department table. So here we need to create a variable data is equal to the first we need to select the which table that we need to join, so department table. And here we need to select the inner sequence, which means the other table that we need to join, whereas in this case, which is the employee table. So then here we need to set the two key selectors. One is outer key selector and another one is inner key selector, whereas the outer key selector is the department equal to department ID. The inner key selector is we need to set the hash bracket, not the variable name. A typo. So employee and lambda expression is a hash rocket and employee dot department ID. Okay, this is the inner key selector. So then we need to pass the two data, department comma employee, and we need to set the projection. This is called the projection area, which means what are the variables or what are the data that we want to fetch. Like let's say if we want first name, and inside the CSHTML I just applied some boilerplate code, and now we are going to create a for each statement. Instead of the items, we are going to basically pass the view back dot data collection that we passed in the controller, and here, and we can set the div call class equal to call md4. It's better. Then div class card. So here you can pass the item and it will display the data that we fetched over here. So now we just test it by running this particular thing. So for that, just open up the terminal over here. So go to the website Linq folder and .NET watch run. And here we can put home/join. And here it is. You can get the output. For bit better padding, we just give something like B3 and M1 so that we can get some enough padding. So that's the power of .NET Watch. If you use the command as watch, it will monitor your changes in these particular assembly. So it's better to use .NET Watch when you are using Visual Studio Code, because in Visual Studio it is available by default when you do start without debugging things. So here it is, the first name, last name, and the department. This is the things that we fetched from first name and the department name, and these are all only if it is particularly matched the particular departments, like if the constraint is matched according to the inner join condition. So the next thing is group join, which is very similar to inner join. In the previous video, if you don't watch the previous video, please go and watch and come here, then only you can understand what's going on. And in the previous video we just created this thing like group by operator based on age, how many members are there, something like that we can get. But here we can, very similar to this, we can also create a group join. Though it is very similar, you can try it out. The only thing that you need to change over here is just by changing this to group join, the method name from group join. The group join is you can group the particular collective of data based on the department. For example, if you have a department ID 1 as a software department, you can get the employees who are all in the department ID of 1. So for that, the syntax is this. You can try it out. All you need to do is to use the group join instead of join, and other than that, all the other codes are very similar. You can try it out if you want. And if you want the data set, I can also provide you the data set via the CSV, which is available in the link. So after learning about the joins, now we are basically going to learn about the other miscellaneous stuff which is available in Linq. So the next thing that we basically going to learn is we can create a query like employees.var, create a lambda expression where the gender which is equal to something like a male. Okay, so and then we can wrap it up with toList, and we can pass this stuff as a view bag dot data, which is equal to data, right? So if you go over here to here, and you can also create a same kind of thing just like we do in join. So copy that code, and instead, yeah, everything's okay. But now here we can create employee name, like whatever fields that we can retrieve. We can get almost every field, like at item dot age, something like that, right? So we can get all the fields over here. So let's go and check it out here and restart. And here I'm just going to type other stuffs. Click other stuffs. Actually, I'm getting some error. The reason is I think we don't have the name of employee name. Let's check the model. So it's just the first name or last name. So I just made a mistake over here. So now just reload the thing. Yeah, here we are getting these particular things, but the problem is we can almost get every columns. So let's say we only need a couple of columns or 3 columns. We don't need other columns. So at that case, we can use the select method or select operator uh, to compensate that thing, which is very equivalent to SQL, where select instead of star we can use the column names by putting commas. So for that I can do something like dot select method. Let's see, let's get it to the next line. Select here. What I can do is put a new select s a lambda expression of new lambda expression new, and then put a curly brace over here. Select, inside of the select I can keep the name as e dot first name comma last name equal to e dot last name, and age equal to e dot age. Okay, so now come back to the this stuff. And here I added the item dot last name, and now I'm going to add the gender as well as. So after adding these things, I just so now let's go and check it out. This is the syntax that I wanted to use. You need to set the instance name and set the lambda expression of the key selector values, and just reload this page. Let's see if everything works correct. So here we are getting an error. So the problem is you should add type, because it cannot recognize, it is unable to recognize the anonymous type. So I just explicitly declare the type of particular object or instance. So now try this again once it is compiled. Yeah, here it is. And if we go and check out this particular thing, like in the view, we are having first name, last name, age, gender. But the problem is we are not getting any values from the gender because we are just retrieving these 3 columns. So this is the power of the select statement. So this is what we can do using select statement, select method. So we have learned the primary things in links using the ASP.NET Core, and now we are by using the particular knowledge of what we learned, we can also do things using the Anaconda software, which is the prime software for data scientists as well as the Python developers or Python machine learning developers. So yesterday I posted a video on how to use, how to install Anaconda Navigator software and how to integrate C# programming language with it. So we just going to launch this. Once this particular Jupyter page is opened, you can create a new folder or file, and here you can get the new C# workbook. So basically you can create a new C#. I already created it, so I'm opening it. So I just added a few code in it, like a class which consists of properties like ID, name, price, quality, and I also added the product sample data. So if I use the particular collection over here and click, and I will get these things over here like ID, name. This is a very excellent way of exploring the data by line. You haven't seen C# line by line until now, because you just you might see the .NET or C# languages in Visual Studio or Visual Studio Code as a particular folder, but you haven't experienced these kind of REPL way of programming. So let's just explore how to do how to make use of Linq using this way, because this will be very interesting. So we just until now we just learned about select, and now we are going to explore about all, any, and what contains thing. So this is let's say I create where price is greater than 50,000. Okay, so price, max price, I create a variable like max price inside products dot all. Okay, and the product dot all, and the condition is going to be s dot price should greater than 50,000. Okay, so let's check it out. Put semicolon, and you can also type max price over here. So it is returning false because basically it is so basically these three operators or deal with Boolean thing, whether it is present or not, or is there any data available as per this condition, or all the data are available under these conditions. So this is what so if I check whether the price is greater than 50,000, which means I'm telling that all the product prices is greater than 50,000. No, because here 7,800, 20,000, 30,000, and let's say I just put this as a 5,000. Now I'll again run it true because the very minimum price over here is 7,800. Okay, so that is what it's all about. So, and I can also make use of the any, like any price equal to products dot any is not price is less than 10,000. So I'm just asking it whether any product is less than 10,000. It's saying yes, true, because here is a product which is about 7,800. So let's just check out the contains operator. Okay, I'm just going to add a row to satisfy this particular contain operator thing. Samsung phone and Samsung tablet. I just split this stuff into two things. Okay, okay, let's run this. To run this particular thing, you can run using this particular run or shift enter. Okay, yeah, this condition will fail because there is a product of 1,800. Okay, fine. Now let's check any Samsung products available. So my condition is I want to get all the Samsung products. Product dot where s dot contains contains Samsung inside of it. Okay, Samsung. So a couple of data is there. So let's just test it out. No, sorry, s dot. I need to use the identifier, which is name dot contains. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There is an error over here. We just made a big typo over here. Samsung. It's actually Samsung. So after changing this, I have to run from here. Yeah, I'm getting the two rows over here. That's working perfectly fine. After that, and we can also make use of the aggregate functions, which is average, count, sum, minimum, maximum. So let's go through it. And these things will be very same, which we can apply in ASP.NET Core also. We saw that thing previously by using views, actions, kind of stuff. But the only thing that I'm doing here is to explore the feature of Jupyter Notebook within the C#. So, okay, let's just find the average of all products prices. Okay, so products dot average s of s, and which column that we need to specify using the lambda expression, which is price. So here we get the average price, which is 31,966. If you have any doubt, just go through the calculator by adding up all the numbers and just dividing it by the sum of products. And the next thing is count. Okay, let's see how the count works. Yeah, there is totally 6 products. And let's say about the sum. So I need to specify the lambda expression of what column that I need to calculate. Let's say about this price, and here it is, 1,91,800, and maximum. Let's find out the maximum value over here. Yeah, again I need to specify what column that I wanted to take. 60,000 is the maximum. Yep, 60,000 laptop is the maximum. And minimum, let's check out the minimum. $7,800 is the minimum, which is exactly a correct answer. And we can use element at operator. So instead of retrieving data based on this particular values or columns, we can get the elements based on this particular index. Okay, so let's check it out and how to do that. Element and products dot element at is the method, and here we need to specify the 0 over here. Okay, so let's type the LE. Here we are getting the first index value, and if we type 4, we can get the fourth element. And we can also use element or default thing. Okay, both are very similar. So the only difference between this thing and this thing is if the index value exceed more than 6 or 8, here it will throw an exception. But if we do something like this over here, it didn't throw the exception, because it's just returning a default value of the particular thing. The default value is null. So it's better to use element or default. So in most of the cases, it will help you better through avoiding the errors in the production. So the same thing, same kind of things available over here. If you want to get a first element of the product, you can use the method called first or default method. Okay, so and this very similar thing which applies for last as well. Products dot last or default. Here it is. And finally you have something like a single element, for example. And now we can check about take and skip over here. And if you, well, let's say where products equal to products, where quantity, as lambda expression s dot quantity is 0. So price is greater than 5,000. Okay, price is greater than 5,000. And what I can do is I can take only 2. Okay, I don't get any rest of those things. So if I type product, I only get 2 things, which is the first one and the second one. Okay, and if I type the very opposite thing, which is skip, it will skip the first 2 and it will get all the rest of it. Okay, that is what the take and skip is all about. And a very similar thing, and we also have distinct, intercept, and union. So now let's just learn about the distinct. Let's just try out a new data, like creating a string of data. 1 like apple, banana, and again I'm just using the apple, and here I'm putting the orange. If I say data dot distinct if I call the data distinct method, yeah, I need to pass the string over here. So I'm here only getting the apple. The reason is this particular apple is removed. That is what the intersect is all about. Sorry, distinct. That is what the distinct is all about. So let's say again, same example for intersect. I'm taking this data2 where new list of string. I'm just going to copy this couple of things over here. And cabbage and beetroot. So here I'm having two data. Okay. So here I'm having two data. So I'm going to compare it. So using the comp variable. So data dot intersect of data2. Okay. So let's just comp. So apple and banana is the intersection of the two tables. Okay. And here we can also use the union. In the same example, I'm just going to apply it for union by changing this to union method. And this is it. This is correct. The reason this is correct is it will just returns a distinct data from both the collection, because you're having two apples, but it's just getting the one because it always returns distinct kind of data. So we also have and this is final. We have except variable, and so the same example I'm going to apply except of data2. So except orange. So if you compare these two, which is in the data2, what are the data which is not available, which means not present in the data2, which is orange. So, and you can do this vice versa. You can get the cabbage and beetroot. So this is what you can make use of Linq. We just learned a lot of things using Linq in the previous two episodes, and this is what is all about Linq. You can make use of Linq. You can achieve a lot of very informative things, and even you can also do data mining stuffs using. So that's it for this particular video. If you like the video, please like, share, subscribe, and if you have any queries or doubt, just comment it below. Thank you.